Ladies and gentlemen, meet your new Navy digital ambassador, a drag queen. And they wonder why they're having recruitment problems. Now, let me just be honest with all of you. I see this story from the Daily Mail. It's going around. People are getting all bent out of shape. Is this the Navy's Dylan Mulvaney moment? Drag performer Harpy Daniels is Navy's new digital ambassador in a bid to boost recruitment that's set to fall short by 8,000. Okay. Now, I know most people, especially conservatives, are like, what are they doing? This is not going to boost recruitment in the Navy. A drag queen? Are you nuts? They're having recruitment problems because people don't like the woke stuff, right? Wrong. It's the Navy. This makes perfect sense. My entire life, the trope was that everybody in the Navy's gay. So when they're sitting here brainstorming on how to recruit more people to the Navy, they're like, go with your strengths. If the Navy's already considered gay, then a drag queen is exactly what you need to get more people to join the Navy. All right. So obviously, just because that trope exists doesn't mean it's true. But I think that might be where their head is at. Like, I got an idea. I think it's funny that at a time when the military is suffering recruitment problems, this is the direction that they decide to go. Bringing in a 24-year-old yeoman second class Joshua Kelly, whose stage name is Harpy Daniels, to be a drag queen, because that's okay. Make America free, pro-choice, my body, my choice. Okay. Wow. It's one thing when there's the negative stereotype that everybody who joins the Navy is gay. And I don't mean it's a negative stereotype to be gay. I'm saying it's negative that this is what the Navy is, that there's something that attracts only one kind of person, a lack of diversity, as it were. But I got to tell you, whatever was left of the masculinity in the armed forces, this is ripping it away. So let's read the news. But before we do, and I want to say this too, like, I don't care what the Navy does. Like I was saying, the stereotype is the Navy's already very much a lot of gay guys. So it makes sense. By all means, Navy, go ahead and do this. I just kind of feel like they're gutting and destroying this country one step at a time. Ripped to shreds. But it is what it is. Before we get started, my friends, head over to surfinginternetsafe.com. That's right. This video is brought to you by Virtual Shield, VPN, virtual private network service. It helps keep you safe as you browse the web. Again, that's surfinginternetsafe.com, link in the description below, and you can save 73% off your purchase, your subscription of a virtual private network service. Now, this service, you turn it on as you're browsing the web. It keeps you safe from hackers, corporations, spies, the government. It's not a perfect shield, but it's a pretty good basic layer of defense for you as you browse the web. And it also bypasses unconstitutional or illegal restrictions when they're trying to limit what you're allowed to see on the internet. If you want to browse the web with a basic layer of security, go to surfinginternetsafe.com. It's available for all devices. And a special thank you to Virtual Shield for sponsoring this video and helping to support the work that we do. Now let's get back to reading about the armed forces. Here's what they say. The United States Navy has turned to a drag performer in its efforts to reach younger recruits on digital platforms and social media. Yeoman second class Joshua Kelly, whose stage name is Harpy Daniels, announced on TikTok in November that he would be the Navy's first digital ambassador, highlighting his journey from performing on board beginning in 2018 and growing to become an advocate for those who were oppressed for years in the service. Kelly, who identifies as non-binary, was one of just 5 active sailors to participate as digital ambassadors for the Navy in its efforts to reach a wide range of potential candidates, the spokesperson told the Daily Caller. None of the digital ambassadors were paid, the spokesperson said, and no promotional or recruiting materials with the ambassador exist. Now, here's my issue. I thought you weren't allowed to, in the armed forces, make political statements and do things like this. Make America free, my body, my choice. This is an overt protest statement in support of what is widely seen as Democrat policies. That's the big problem that I see here. Now, look, I'll be honest. You want a manly warrior class for your armed forces? Fine. You've not gotten that with the Navy for a long time. Family Guy, all these TV shows growing up, they have routinely mocked and derided the Navy as it is. So I don't see this as being any more egregious than everything else that's ever been said about the Navy. But I can say, yeah, I think when we're putting out these commercials, They did this army commercial where it's like, I have two moms. And it's like, I don't understand how that's supposed to bring people in who are going to risk their lives and engage in dangerous, risky activities to save, and protect this country. I think the commercials are all wrong. I think the politics is particularly bad here, that they're allowing this. It's showing a double standard. Now, I guess this is maybe they're allowed to do this. Maybe I'm wrong or whatever. But here's where I feel like we're at. You want duty. You want service. You don't want whatever this silly nonsense is. I don't care what you do in your private life. You can be a drag. I don't got any problem with drag queens. Be a drag queen. Do your thing. But it's silly nonsense. I'm sorry. If they had someone come out and they said that they, like dressing up like a dog, I'd say the same thing. Or if they were a furry, I'd be like, guys, this is not inspiring for the average person to be involved in our armed forces. And we're dealing with a major downturn in recruitment. I love this. Fortune.com. Don't blame wokeness for the Army's recruitment woes, says the Army. No, I absolutely will. Okay. Army opens its doors to recruits who fail to meet initial body fat and academic standards amid recruiting crisis. Oh, I think of Sparta. They would take the baby and put it in the woods for like a day. And if the baby didn't survive, it didn't deserve to, and then the only way to get a tombstone, a gravestone, as a man, if you died in battle, you got one. As a woman, you died in childbirth. Like Sparta was the complete other direction, like a warrior class. Now, we don't need to go that far. But boy, are we doughy and soft in this country. Oh, I'm so worried about Russia. I'm so how should I say this? The Russians will not fear us. I'll put it that way. Right now, Vladimir Putin is talking about an assassination attempt at the Kremlin, that Ukraine attacked him. We are entering World War III territory. And this is what you have to offer us? Oh, boy. I've talked to so many people formerly in the armed forces said they want to be careerists and they resigned or retired because they don't want to be involved in this garbage. And they're like, we have a recruitment problem. Yeah, because you're uninspiring and weird. Uninspiring. There's no hero's journey. There's no great adventure. That's it. It is drag queens. Fine. I don't care. Be a drag queen, but it's recreation, not service and duty. If they can, look, I've seen videos where it's like a guy in his uniform does a tray flip on a skateboard, a trick on a skateboard. And I'm like, that's cool. That's not duty. I don't care about that. You're not convincing me the armed forces is something noble because a guy skateboards. I skateboard too. Whatever. I don't care. Having a dude come out and be like, that he's come out and saying he's a drag queen. I'm like, how is that inspiring me to risk my life for this nation? It's not. It's the opposite. What you're showing me is that you are fat, stupid hobbyists. You've got body fat people, you've got low academic standards, and now you've got people who are like, I'm going to dress up in women's clothing and dance around. That's supposed to inspire the next generation of young men to risk their lives? Why would they? There is no great adventure, there is no great story, and there is nothing inspirational here. What they're trying to do is they're trying to say, be a glutton. Let me tell you what you need, military. You want to recruit people? You need great stories of sacrifice. The male power fantasy, the guy holding onto the railing while holding onto the helicopter like Captain America going, no, trying to stop the helicopter from leaving. Heck of a scene in Captain America Winter Soldier. I mean, that Captain America, I bring up specifically because it's a story about a dude who wants to be in the military so bad, but he can't until his moral character, his strong will, makes him eligible to become Captain America. Gets that serum injection and the Vita rays, and then raw, he becomes all strong. That was the story, that even if you were frail, duty mattered and fighting for your country mattered. Now it's not that. Now it's like, okay, sometimes on the weekends, guys dress up in drag. That's what they're doing in the Navy. Again, I don't care about the drag thing. I care about the fact that it's the opposite of duty and service. Give me a commercial where it's a dude lifting a gigantic rock off of a child, saving the child's life. Show me a video where the bad guy is storming the beaches and then this dude runs out and picks up a little girl as a bomb goes off and saves her. There's a photo of Anderson Cooper. Yeah, I know, many people don't like him. And he's grabbing a child and pulling the child away as there's bombs going off or something. That's the story people want to see. And Anderson Cooper, he's a gay guy. But that photo is inspirational. I know, you don't got to like Anderson Cooper, but you got to admit, that's the kind of message we want. Instead, what do we get? Instead of fighting for this country, it's a guy dancing around in skimpy clothing for other men. No duty, no honor, and that's where we're at. So you want to know why nobody wants to join up? That's why. Because there's no great adventure. There's nothing inspirational or aspirational about being this. It used to be you were a legend. You came back, they built a statue in your honor. You saved so many lives. Now what? Join up and maybe you can be a drag queen too. You don't need to join up to be a drag queen. Go be a drag queen if that's what you want to do. Why join the Navy for that? Welcome to modern America. Well, I'll leave it there. Next segment's coming up at 6 p.m. on this channel. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you all then.